If delegation worked, you wouldn't still be needed for everything. That's the uncomfortable truth most founders avoid. Because on paper, you've delegated, you hired, you assigned, you handed things off. And yet, 10 minutes later, your phone lights up. Quick question. And suddenly, the task you delegated is back in your brain. I'm a certified hypnotist and strategy-first marketing consultant, and I've used this exact approach to turn 8-hour workdays into 4-hour days, and to restructure 1,120-hour projects into completed 520-hour projects without burnout. And what I learned the hard way is this. The real issue isn't delegation. It's how decisions escalate. Most founders think the problem is, I need to delegate more. But even when you delegate tasks, decisions still escalate to you. Yes, someone else might execute the task, but you're still the operating system. You're still the approval layer, the tiebreaker, the safety net, the emotional regulator, the closer. So, technically, you delegated, but cognitively, you're still carrying it. And that's why it still feels heavy. Here's what this looks like in real life. You're the hub, the fixer, the one everyone pings when something goes sideways. Your team does the work, but if something's unclear, sensitive, risky, expensive, or client-facing, it comes back to you. Not because they're incompetent, but because the system routes uncertainty upward. That's escalation, and escalation is what's exhausting you. Delegation breaks the moment ownership is vague. If the task doesn't have a clear owner, if it doesn't have a clear definition of what done is, if it doesn't have a clear standard, then nobody feels safe finishing it without you. So they escalate. Not because they want to, but because ambiguity makes people nervous. It's true. Ownership ambiguity equals automatic escalation. And most founders never fix that layer. They assume delegation means I told someone to do it. But a real handoff means 3 things. Clear owner, clear standard, clear finish line. Without those, you don't have delegation. You have temporary displacement. And the work boomerangs. So now here's the brutal truth. If your business depends on you for everything, it's fragile by design. And what most founders call delegation problems are actually backstop problems. Because even after you hand something off, everyone still assumes you'll catch it, approve it, rescue it, double check it, soften the client email, and make the final call. You are the default backstop. And when you're the backstop, the pressure never drops. Because even if you're not doing the task, you're mentally bracing for when it does come back to you. That's why just delegate more doesn't work. It's an effort-based fix to a structural problem. You can coach harder, you can remind harder, you can explain harder, but if the structure still routes decisions to you, you will stay the bottleneck. Most productivity advice fails because it only fixes the outside. It tells you to hire, to outsource, to trust your team. But it doesn't address escalation paths. And escalation paths are what keep you stuck. So what actually works? You don't just delegate a task. You build a handoff where the system keeps it from boomeranging back. And here's a simple framework. If you're delegating something, do 3 things. Choose the owner. Not the team, not we, not whoever. One name. The second thing, share the standard and the definition of done. Not perfection, not 100%, just clear enough that someone can execute at 80% of your level without pinging you every 5 minutes. And third, set structured check-ins, not constant interruptions, scheduled checkpoints. That way, uncertainty has a place to land instead of landing in your inbox all day. And if you're not ready to formalize everything yet, here's a tiny move that changes the game. Write one simple rule so the task doesn't bounce back onto your plate. For example, if it's under $200, you decide. If the client asks X, we reply the template Y. If it's not in the SOP, we add it before it reaches me. See, those small rules reduce escalation dramatically because now people know where the edge of their authority is. And here's something deeper. A lot of founders secretly struggle to stop being the bottleneck because being needed feels safe. It feels important, it feels validating, and it feels responsible. But it also keeps you trapped. If every decision routes through you, your business cannot grow past your nervous system, and that's the real cost. Burnout isn't just from doing too much, it's from carrying too much uncertainty. When escalation is broken, your brain never powers down. You're always on call, always waiting for the next thing to bounce back. And that's why delegation alone doesn't fix founder burnout. Because delegation without structural clarity still leaves you as the system. So if this feels familiar, that's not an accident. Escalation paths are one of the biggest hidden bottlenecks inside small businesses. And it's something I break down step by step inside my book. If delegation hasn't relieved the pressure, then download Stop Being the Bottleneck, a 7-day plan to reclaim 5+ hours a week without working more. Inside, I walk you through how to identify broken escalation paths, reduce decision fatigue, and build systems that hold without you being the default backstop. It's not about letting go blindly, it's about redesigning the structure so things don't bounce back. The link is below. And if you're going to apply this, comment one rule you're going to create this week. One owner, one definition of done, one boundary that prevents escalation. When you write it, you commit to it, and you start becoming optional in day-to-day operations without sacrificing results.